Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm trying something new out. So, basically, I'm using my camera right now. I know those of you listening on the podcast can't see me, but if you go over to YouTube, you can actually see the video. And I have my microphone hooked up and everything like that. So, hopefully, everything is working good. This is Talk the Real Deal with AT2, the podcast. Now, I know you guys are used to seeing me go live and stuff like that. So, this is being pre recorded. And today we are going to talk about politics. So, specifically, we are going to talk about the whole midterms and everything like that. And then we're going to talk about this war against Trump. Like, all of a sudden, the Trumplicans, aka the Republicans, have turned on their homeboy Trump. And now I feel like I need to turn into a Trump fan and defend him. But anyway, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get into it. But I did want to let you know that I have like one of my old school intro videos that I had on here like hella long ago, and I'm going to play it. This was actually my first intro video when I first started YouTube. Let me play it for you guys real quick. All right, so that was the intro video. Oh, sounded like someone was in my ear for a minute. You know how like when you got headphones in, like it feel like something in your ear, but yeah, it is in your ear because I got earbuds. Let me not say headphones, earbuds. I need to get some headphones though. That'll be cool to have those instead. But anyway, y'all, what do we want to start out? And I did write notes because I got a whole bunch of stuff to say, and I'm gonna try to get this in within an hour because nobody want to watch a 3-hour video. We want to get the information in and done with. So let's go ahead and start out with more of the local. Let me start in the Bay Area in my hometown of Oakland, California, Oaktown. Shang Tao, she is the new mayor. Now there was another guy, his name was Lauren Taylor, and he was kind of like backed by all the big people, even the former mayor, well, current mayor. Her name is Libby. um I'm so happy to see Libby gone. I am all for the new coming in. This woman is actually a progressive, as they call it. See, it's weird because Democrats have like progressives and then Republicans have libertarians. And so they give like different names to either or, but there's really only two parties in actuality. Of course, there's independents, but really there's only two parties. So if you want to call yourself a progressive or this or that, just vote, damn it. I don't even care at this point. Just vote, damn it. Where's my sticker at? Oh, you know what? I did have an extra sticker and I was going to put it on my shirt because all in all, it is very important that y'all get y'all ass out there and vote. So my future home, not my future hometown, but my second home, in which will be my future home, LA. You guys know that I want to move to LA and be a big star. So they had a mayor race as well too. It was Karen Bass versus Rick Caruso. Now, that one was a little spicy. And the reason why is because Karen was already a congressman or congresswoman, I should say. And then you got Rick Caruso, who's a billionaire. And so it's the billionaire versus somebody who's old school, stuck in their ways, somebody who's already been in politics and stuff like that. So she has a history and stuff like that, right? So then you got all these celebrities split. Like, you know, there was all like, oh, Rick Caruso's going to clean up the crime. He's going to clean up the homelessness, all this stuff. And then some people were like, well, Karen, she's an original Democrat. This guy is not really a Democrat because he literally changed his status. And he was independent before, but he changed his status to Democrat. And this is actually the first time he has been a Democrat. He was either independent or Republican. So I think also that was a knock to him because Karen Bass ended up winning. But then you got to think about it too. He's a billionaire, you know, using his money. He spent allegedly over 100 million of his own money to campaign and go against Karen. And it was going, and especially somewhere like in LA, that was going to be a negative towards you. coming in with big money, saying that you're going to clean up this and do that. And I think also, too, we have to, because this kind of goes into the Trump thing. There's this idea, this ideology that, oh, a business person is the best person for politics because they're an outsider, they're not in with the swamp and da 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 da. Let me tell you, any rich motherfucker, and I can say this because this is going on the podcast. Oh, this is going on YouTube too. Damn it. Anyway, any rich motherfucker has their hand in politics. There is no such thing as a rich person that don't have their hand in politics. Him and Karen was probably eating gumbo, crab legs. You know I like crab legs. Gumbo, crab legs, fried chicken, and everything like that. I highly doubt, oh, you know, he was an outsider. Trust me. He knew who Karen was, and Karen knew who he was. So all in all, Karen ended up winning. But I think also it speaks to having a political, not only a political background, but she also had backing from politicians. One of the biggest ones was our former president, former president, Barack Obama. Obama name, no matter if you hate him or like him or whatever, his name carries weight. So she was going to win the whole time. Like, let's just be honest about that. And I think it speaks to the culture of us having like, oh, we need an outsider, we need this and that. And it's all like, no, anybody rich is not an outsider. They are the people that we do not like. You know, they the same as the politician. Trust me, they got their hands in everything like that. Why do you think all these companies give to politicians and stuff like that? Because they got special interests. And it's all like, you guys don't even think about that. No, they are the one and exact same. You just vote for the one that you like the best. It is what it is, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the midterms, y'all. But make sure you guys hit the like button, or if you're listening on the podcast, let me know how you like it. You can leave a voice note on Anchor, or you can even leave a comment on Spotify. I do know that. Thank you to all the listeners right now. I'll probably plug in like a commercial on the podcast. But for those of you watching right now, we're just going to continue with the conversation. All right. So as far as I'm going to go with the Senate first. So as far as the Senate, right now it's at a 50-49. So what that means is that the Democrats are leading. They do have the majority right now. So there's one runoff race in Georgia. I don't know what's going on with y'all. Let me just tell you. I understand this country is very divided and all that good stuff, right? But there is no way in hell that you filled in that bubble. Where's my pen at, y'all? Where's my pen at? There is no way you filled in that motherfucking bubble. It was all like, Herschel Walker is my guy. I'm going to vote for me some Herschel Walker. There is no way in hell you told yourself. There is no way in hell you told yourself, Herschel Walker, that's my guy right there. He's a good Christian man. Now, I know if you done voted for Herschel Walker, you done slept with your motherfucking cousin. Oh. Remember, this is the podcast, so we can be X-rated and everything like that. This is the podcast. We can be X-rated. I know you done slept with your cousin if you voted for some motherfucking Herschel Walker. There was a... I forgot what I think his name was like Oliver or something, but there was a libertarian choice that you could have went with. There is no way in hell you told yourself Herschel Walker was the guy. I don't care what Raphael Warnock has done. That man is a good man. That's a good Christian. Now, if you are a Christian, you definitely should have voted for Warnock. I don't give a damn. You should have voted for him. And I just think also this just speaks to how divided our country is, because there is no way in hell if you put up like a list of people, right? And you look at the credentials and you look at the two candidates, you looked at that debate and everything like that circus of a debate, and went like, damn, I know I'm gonna vote for Herschel Walker. And you said that with your whole chest, like, Herschel Walker is my guy. That's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. That's what you said. And if you did, you did. And mind you, if you voted for Herschel, that is on you. It is what it is. But damn. Damn. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But the runoff is December 6th, I believe. December 6th. There is early voting right now. Make sure you guys go out and vote. They don't need that 50, it doesn't need to be that 51% as it does in the regular election and stuff like that. It's just the majority, the person who got the majority of the votes win. I highly doubt that Warnock is going to lose, but I don't want to sound too confident in that, considering that if you don't vote, that's when you will get somebody in like Herschel Walker. That's when you will get somebody like Herschel Walker if you don't vote. So it's very important. I know I'm talking shit and stuff like that, and I'm an entertainer. That's what I do, and I'm just trying to bring light to a heavy situation. But make sure you go out there and vote. And if you vote for Herschel, AT2 still loves you. No, you know what? Shout out to Ricky Manor. Now, Ricky Manor done said some bullshit. Shout out to Ricky. Now, Ricky done said some bullshit about how like the black preacher is this and that, and then he brought up Eddie Long, and Warnock is nothing like Eddie Long or anything like that. But he brought that up, and I'm like, now Ricky, no, after that, he probably had a stomach virus and was throwing up and shitting all over himself, because there is no way that he regurgitated that bullshit out his mouth with a straight face. I know he had to take about 30 shots of Hennessy. Well, he more of a whiskey kind of guy. He drank 30 shots of whiskey after over there virtually sucking Herschel Walker's dick. He had to. Shout out to Ricky. He probably gonna be pissed after he listens to this. Anyway, moving on. Who else there was Cortez Masto versus Lazot. She won. She only won by 9,000. That was the Nevada race for senator. That is pretty close. That lets you know that it's still pretty divided. I know like the areas like Clark County where Vegas is, and then where Reno is, it's Democratic, and that's where the larger majority. But it lets you know that it's still pretty split down the middle there. Arizona, Kelly won. He won the Senate race on that one. And then I want to talk about, damn, I missed the part with Abrams, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Oh, y'all forgot. I even got pictures and everything for those of you watching the visual and not the audio. I even got pictures. Hold on. Because I do want to talk about this one where it is. Let me see if I got the right picture up here. No, of course I don't have the right picture ready. Technical difficulties. We are live, baby. We are live. Okay, let's talk about these two real quick. So this was the governor race in Arizona. So this is Kari Lake is the one in the red. I try to put it by party, red and blue and stuff like that. I try to put it by party. So that is Kari Lake, and then Katie Hobbs is the one on top. So Katie Hobbs did end up winning, but Kari Lake has not conceded. And she's and just like Herschel, she's one of these people backed by Trump and stuff like that. She's a election denier, all that good stuff. And she still has not conceded. And I think at this time, this is one of the reasons why our country is split. And then secondly, I think this is also why there wasn't like this big overhaul, or what they call like a red wave, whatever party is the incumbent party. I done butchered that word, but we're going to continue. Whatever party was already in control, usually the other party takes over and it flips, which the House did, but not the Senate. Now, this is the governor race. And I think it speaks to whether it's governor, senator, Congress. When it comes to like these extreme people, I don't think that's the way to go. Honestly, it's very unsexy. And yes, right now the economy is so it should have been it should have been a red wave. The economy is and so when you have an economy that's usually that flips the government. Not always the president, but the government, yes, it always flips it. However, in this case, the Democrats pretty much held their own. Um, they didn't lose any Senate seats. They actually picked up one. Fetterman beat Oz. Now, why they picked now? Dr. Oz was another one backed by Trump. That's another thing. And we're gonna get into the whole flip-flopping on Trump that they doing now. This is why I done turned into a Trump fan. But Fetterman he beat. That was the Pennsylvania race, so the Democrats did pick up one seat because that was actually a Republican seat. I forgot who was in there, but he retired. Um, and Dr. Oz was another one that was kind of. I think people are honestly over the celebrity thing as well too. Just beside, and then he was actually from Jersey, and then he moved to Pennsylvania, and there was just a lot. And even though Fetterman had that stroke or whatnot, you could tell that he still was pushing for him to still push on and move on. And I never realized how someone's health really affected like a race or how it could be seen as a negative. Because let me tell you this. I've always found like because I know they did that with Hillary, Joe Biden, aka Sleepy Joe, Joe. He ain't quick, Jack be nimble. What is it? Jack be nimble. No, Jack be nimble. Jack be quick, and Jack is definitely not quick no more. And people look for health and making sure that you have your mind together and stuff like that. I never realized how big it was. But y'all remember that show on HBO, that cat house show? It was like the Bunny Ranch, right? The owner, he was actually a congressman and he ends up passing away, right? And so when he passed away, it was during an election. So even though he had died, they still voted for him either anyway. And then the Republicans were able just to appoint someone. So this is how crazy this shit is. They voted for a dead guy just so they can know, just so they could have that seat. It did not matter that he passed away. Just so they could have that seat, they voted for him. So I don't really think that someone's health matters. You vote basically on your party. I mean, am I making that up? You based on your party and you based on what you like. If you don't like the other candidate, I'm gonna just vote for the dead person. We'll figure this shit out later. That's how it is, right? Vote for the dead person, figure the shit out later. Now, I do want to go back to the governor race, and then I'm gonna go back to the Senate real quick. So we're gonna talk about Stacey, and we're gonna talk about Beto. So Brian Kemp won 53 to 45 to 4, and Abrams had 45.9 or something like that. It was heartbreaking because I love me some Stacey Abrams. She just remind you of like comfort food. She remind you of a good son, and this is no weight joke or anything like that. I just want y'all to know. But she reminds me of a good Sunday dinner. That's what she remind me of. She's very comforting. That's what I'm getting to, y'all. Not any fat joke. Shut up. And for her to lose that badly, I was like, man, like I honestly think that instead of Kamala Harris, she should have ran, or not ran, but she should have been the vice president. I just feel that what she has done for Georgia, turning, really getting people out there to vote and really pushing that and getting everybody registered, she definitely deserves a round of applause for that. But damn, Stacey, you got destroyed. Why they do you like that, Stacey? And it's so crazy because Warnock was ahead of Herschel, but he just didn't get the 50.1% or whatever. But with Stacey, she wasn't even close this time. Like it was a large gap this time. Last time it was only like I believe like 30,000 or whatever, and that's when she should have won it. But anyway, but Kemp, shit, he blasted her like. And you got to give it to Kemp because this time, he wasn't over the commission or whatever for the voting and stuff like that. So you got to give him credit for, I mean, he killed it. Basically, he killed it. And Stacey, I think Stacey would be better served like in the White House or somewhere on a larger scale. Sometimes it doesn't transfer over. Now, one person I think that doesn't transfer over at all is the man at the bottom right here, Beto. Beto O'Rourke. Ah, Beto got his ass whooped too. What was his? What was his real quick? 54.8% Greg Abbott to the 43.8. They just ain't messing with Beto at this time. Beto, and here's the thing with Beto, he want to flip flop all like first, you run for Senate, now you go to then you go to president, then now you go to governor. So you try all these different things, and it's all like, yo, like you're just trying to. It just seems at this point you just want to be seen. That's how I feel about Beto. I feel like it just doesn't come off as natural. It comes off like he's trying too hard. I think he should try to build up his resume. He should do more TV interviews, be seen, mix and mingle with the people and get his resume up. He just for me, he just doesn't have it. I mean, if he ran for something like president or something like that, would I be able to vote for him? I don't want to say I wouldn't, but in good faith, that's not my first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I don't think he's in the top 10. Even when he was running for president, when we voted during the primaries and stuff like that, he wasn't in the top 10 at all. Not at all. And I'm just thinking like, yo, Beto, like, and I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong. Remember, we're just talking about politics. We're not talking about these people. Well, some of them. We're not talking about them personally, but I just don't think he got what it takes. And I think at this time, he's probably better served. I don't want to say it because if I say it, I'm going to go to hell. No, I'm gonna say it. He's probably better served being somebody's secretary, and I don't mean Secretary of State. I mean secretary, getting somebody some coffee, orange juice, making sure the bagels are ready on the table. Like other than that, I don't want to see no more Beto. I don't want to see him run for anything that has to do with politics. At least not on a larger scale. Run for mayor. That probably be best suited. All right, moving on from that, y'all. We at 23 minutes. Okay, I'm trying to keep time, y'all, so we ain't on here forever. I'm trying to make it go smoothly as possible. Okay, so that was the Senate. Did I get everything? DeSantis was another. Now this is back to governor. He was another one that basically killed it. He Charlie Christie. I guess I listen. I don't give a damn. It is what it is. I ain't gonna disrespect Florida or anything like that because I know some people in Florida. But DeSantis basically destroyed them, so it is what it is. Now, do I think DeSantis is all of a sudden going to be the next president? We'll talk about that. All right, moving on. So I wanted to talk about the House real quick. So the House, I kind of mentioned it before. It wasn't a red wave. However, it's 220 to 213. You need 218 to, win the House. It was very close. And now they're saying that there's some people like Matt Gaetz, who's a predator. I don't know why he's still in government. He is a predator. Then you got the Marjorie Taylor Greene, who looks like... Y'all know what Marjorie Taylor Greene looked like. If she listen, She looked like she should have a paper bag over her motherfucking head because that is one ugly bitch. And then did y'all hear when she said something about like, oh, why wear a mask? That's like wearing when like when you fart you can. She said something stupid. I forgot something about what it's like wearing cotton underwear because you can still smell the fart or something like that. Anyway, we ain't gonna get that, but Kevin McCarthy is said to be the speaker, but they haven't voted on it yet. But those two are opposed to him, and as well as a few other people. Now, I was wondering because it said Kevin McCarthy was from California, and I was all like, where is he from? He's the minority leader until, January 3rd. He'll become if he's voted in, he'll become the majority. I was wondering about him, like, because they was like, he's from California, California, California. I'll be like, where from California is this fool from? Y'all, he is from Bakersfield. And I hate to say it, but Bakersfield is like, I ain't going to no motherfucking Bakersfield. Literally, Bakersfield is where you go when you ain't got no hope, when you just hopeless. They say I'm hopeless as a penny with a hole in it. And hopeless like a penny with a motherfucking hole in it. That's where you go when you Bakersfield. So Kevin McCarthy, now that I know he's from Bakersfield, that's all I need to say. Next caller. He ain't got no spine, no backbone. He is just ignorant, all that good stuff. But I hope them people do run his ass crazy, though. It should be a very interesting year as far as the House, at least for, politics. And I do have his picture up here. I'll be forgetting about my visuals, y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, no, that wasn't a visual. Did I do the... Damn, not that one yet. Oh, shoot, y'all. I thought I had my visual ready. No, I guess I don't. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so we are back. I got to remember to edit out that part between the 28 and the 30-minute mark. I will make sure to edit that out. Okay, so I was trying to look for a picture of Kevin McCarthy and Hakeem Jeffries, who is going to be the new minority leader. As you guys know, Nancy Pelosi stepped down, and so now he will be the minority leader coming up in the next year. So congratulations to him. He's the first Black congressman to be to be in a leadership position over the House. So congratulations to him. Shout out to Hakeem Jeffries. All right. So moving on from that. Oh, no. We're not moving on from that. We're not. Because I wanted to talk about why there wasn't a red wave. Now, I want to talk about what the problem is with Republicans. Now, I know some people are like, AT2, you're not a Republican. How you know what the issue is? Bitch, I know something. But the problem is that there is a cultural war that the Republicans keep on doing. I.e., when it came to the damn abortion. They should have left that alone. I think with them keep bringing up abortion, and granted the Supreme Court was the one that knocked it down. However, then they wanted to pass bills. Then all the states were limiting abortion rights and stuff like that. Whether or not you like abortions, this was kind of something that was already settled in. So this was more of a cultural battle, because how did this have anything to do with the economy and restoring the country? This had nothing to do with that. That's a cultural war that cannot be won. And I think with that, it really turned off some people. Secondly, what was also wrong was that they keep the debate on same-sex marriage and interracial marriage is actually all on the same bill, right? It got passed recently in the Senate and all that stuff, right? But you had so many senators turn it down because they believe in the state rights. And what's sad is that, and it was Senate and Congress and the Republican side that people stroke it down. Not all of them, but a lot. So you had one congressman, and I forgot his name, who went to his gay son's wedding and still voted against the bill. And he's a politician in Florida. Somebody might know it in the chat, but he's a politician in the Florida, and he voted nay on the bill. Then you have a whole bunch of senators that are in interracial relationships. One of the biggest, meanest, ugly looking ones, Mitch McConnell, is in an interracial relationship. And he voted no to pass it in the Senate. And again, their reasoning is state rights, but something like same-sex marriage, which I mean that passed within the last decade, but something like interracial marriage, Virginia versus Love, is it Loving or Love? The interracial case. It's crazy how things like that are still voted on when it's here. And then you have people in the Senate that are in these kind of relationships voting against their own interests because they're trying to say it's state rights and states should decide this and that. It's the dumbest thing ever. And I think, when you get into, Republicans are bigots or they're this and that, this is the reason why people say these things, because you vote for shit like this, you vote against shit like this, then people are going to call you those names. Don't be surprised when they call you these things. Moving on from that, and yes, the bill did get passed. So I think 2 days ago it got passed. Yeah, 2 days ago. I forgot the actual date. So moving on from that, then we have the whole woke thing. I used to love saying I was woke. I hardly sleep. I honestly sleep for like a few hours and I wake back up because you know why? I'm woke. That's a little jokey joke, y'all. So when you have someone saying like, "Oh, woke, oh, you're woke, oh, woke this woke culture, this, woke that." Once white people started saying woke, that's when I was done with woke. I'm just gonna say it. Once they get a hold of something that's popular, that we done started and trended, talking about us melanated folks, what we done started trending, got it popping, and then y'all want to come in and start using it, it's over with. I don't want it no more. I don't want it no more. So woke became like this political ideology, and it was turned into something negative. The definition of being woke is just being conscious and being aware of what's going on, which is not a bad thing, especially when it comes to our government, how they play us. Because let's be honest about, no matter what party you're in or you associate with or vote for, they both playing us. You know what I mean? So let's just put that out there. But there's nothing wrong with being woke. And so turning that word woke into a negative, that's another culture war. And it's just something that it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. What was the other point that I had that was, do I want to get into that one right now? F it. Let's do it. No. There is one more. The economy. So it's funny because, like, as Americans, we talk about the economy. Unfortunately, COVIDiana happened. Y'all know COVID. COVIDiana happened. It took a lot of us out. A lot of people are like, "Hey, how come you ain't got you a job?" Not knowing that I actually had 2 jobs during the panorama. It's just that because of COVIDiana, I wasn't able to keep those jobs. I got laid off again. So it just happens. Everybody. But the thing is, with the economy argument, it's not just the US. Yes, the US, we have our issues. Inflation is crazy right now, but it's actually the whole world. The whole world is suffering right now. our gas is actually cheaper than like in the UK and all of Europe. You like Europe gas is more expensive than ours. A lot of people don't even know that. So everybody is hurting, everybody is suffering. So when it's like a global pandemic, I don't think the economy is really a strong argument. Now, if Republicans had a solution, that would have been, they definitely could have rocked it, because they would have came and been like, hey, y'all pockets are hurting and everything like that, everybody pockets, and you need to put food on your table, blah blah blah. And they were saying that, but there was no plan. Like, what was your plan going to be if you were to take over the House and the Senate? What was going to be your plan? Like, how were you going to try to do that? And especially when you vote against the bill to help with inflation and help with the economy. And I forgot what the bill was named, but basically they try to say, oh, the Democrats always trying to sneak stuff in and da 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 and all that shit. I almost said the N word, but I'll say ninja. At this time, we don't care what they sneaking in. We just need motherfucking help. And if you're gonna help us, you're gonna help us. At this time, we don't care if they sneaking in, what they sneaking in, what they not sneaking in. We just know that we need help. We don't care what they sneaking in. And I think when you think about things like that, and then they start the cultural wars and stuff like that, it turns people off. And people are right down the middle. There's no like, let's talk to each other, let's work something out. People are straight up and down right now. You either on the red side or you on the blue side. There is no in between anymore, unfortunately. It is what it is. And I know there was a lot of things where people were saying like, oh, some people would vote Republican on the Republican on like the governor, and then maybe like the Republican, like the Democrat on the Senate ticket, and they were saying like split tickets. Honestly, don't think that. I think people just don't vote. Like if they don't like either candidate, they just leave it blank. I think that's more or less what's going on. But anyway, let's continue. The last thing I wanted to mention, and this goes with the House, was the January 6th the shit. I think January 6th is still going to be a stain for the rest of the Republicans' longevity. It's always going to be there, because we're going to know like, oh, those people were just touring, like I'm not lying. They'll tell you like, oh, they were just looking at, they were just visiting the Capitol. They weren't doing anything. Like those were good people and all this shit. No, no, because we know if they was melanated, if they looked like this, if they was this side, yo, the whole Capitol would have been bombed. I hate to laugh at a joke like that, but the whole Capitol would have been bombed if it was a whole bunch of melanated people, black people up there tearing up the Capitol. Listen, I think it was, well, no, there was 6 people who actually passed away, unfortunately. But we all know the Ashley Babbitt lady, and there's like this whole thing like she deserves justice, she needs justice, and all this stuff. And it's all like, no, she broke into the Capitol. I'm sorry. You don't break in. I don't think people realize that showed us as a country, no matter what political line you fall in, that just showed us as a country being weak. Because how do its own citizens able to break in to a government building like that and fuck it up like that? And you, there's no way in hell that could ever, it should ever happen, because I can't say it can't happen. Should ever happen, because it did happen. That shit is crazy. It is wild thinking about that. And that will forever be a part. And like I said, this whole culture war that the Republicans have, this will always be a thing. Like, there's Liz Cheney. She was the lady. Where does she live, Liz Cheney? I think Wyoming or something like that. She got voted out. She was a part of that January 6th committee. They didn't like that. Somebody ended up primarying her and getting her ass up out there. And it's sad because, like, damn, even if you do try to do the right thing, if you don't go along with the flow, they get your ass up out there. It's an unfortunate situation. Now, granted, Liz Cheney, she doesn't vote the way I vote, so it's like I don't give a damn. However, it's all like, damn, when somebody tries to say the right thing or do the right thing, they get booted out, and so they're at this thing where the Republicans are all like, damn, do we agree with everything and just go with the flow, or do we stand up for what's right? And unfortunately, they're just going to go with the flow. And that's not how you win over, those middle ground people as far as like independence and stuff like that. Oh, I didn't even think of this, y'all. I didn't even write this down. How you have those judges striking down the I think it's in Texas where it's gonna it's gonna get sent to the appeals court and stuff like that. But the loan forgiveness, student loan forgiveness, I don't understand. Now, mind you, my parents are probably mad because they paid off my student loans, but and I'm over here on YouTube talking to y'all. They pissed off. Anyway, the student loans are just something that should be. It should go through. It should go through. I don't understand that. That's what people have been. That's one of like the most popular things that everybody wants: loan forgiveness. There's still like a culture war with being on welfare. And then I'm gonna move over to the Trump stuff because I know y'all like, damn it, I'm tired of this part. But there's a culture war when it comes to welfare. Getting a student loan forgiveness is looked at as welfare, but a PPP loan is looked at as something towards, helping business people. So we have this, and doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, we all look down on people who get some kind of government assistance. But for whatever reason, just like when 2008, when all the banks were getting loaned out, that was like, oh, well, yeah, the banks do need to get loaned out because they're business and this is how the world works and da-da-da. But for whatever reason, when it comes to any kind of forgiveness or loans or debt paid off for average Americans, it's looked at like, I don't like that. Like, oh yeah, our taxes are gonna be, but our taxes increase when we bail out businesses and banks and stuff like that. So it's only a problem when the taxes increase when we try to help out the average day people. We got to look into ourselves and see why we do that. And I'm talking about everybody. Because I even be all like, oh, you get food stamps. I used to think like that too. Now I want me some goddamn food stamps. Let me tell you. But I used to look at people like, oh, you get food stamps. Like you get those little money. And now food stamps are on a card. They don't even give you that money. That's a, well, damn, I'm outdating myself right now. I was born in 88. I wasn't born in 78. I was born in 88. Don't play me. Don't play me. I'm in my early 30s now. Anyway, but yeah, that we have to look into that and see why we do that as a people. All right, so we are going to move over to Trump because now they're calling Trump the biggest loser. They're all like, oh yeah, these Trump-backed candidates. There was I didn't talk about him. I saved him. JD Vance. He's actually the senator that won in Ohio. And it was said that the Republicans, and also Mitch McConnell, had to put in more money because JD Vance wasn't looked at as like a good candidate. They had to put more money into him. And a lot of the Trump candidates, they had to put a lot of money into those. And so they are pissed off now that most of the candidates that he was going for or Trump endorsed lost. They are pissed. And so now that Trump doesn't have that staying power, all of a sudden they turned on Trump. Isn't this shit crazy? This shit is crazy. January 6th wasn't enough. But but now that they ain't winning no races, they was all like, oh, we got to get rid of his ass. His ass got to go. And my thing is that with the whole January 6th committee and stuff like that, right? They should have been more than willing to jump on that and be like, yeah, let's go ahead, make sure this go through so he can't run for president again. And now, but they thought they needed Trump. That's the thing. They thought they needed him. And so now they trying to pussy pop and backpedal and basically throw Trump under the bus. Like, yo, we don't need him anymore. Like, yo, like, let's move on. Our party is this, our party is that. Like, let's move on to the next. Now, you have some people that are loyal. This is the thing. You can't get rid of Trump because Trump he has the name and he has the big personality. To be president, you do have to have a personality. Now, I know some of y'all are probably like, well, Joe Biden doesn't have like a personality. And so, no, he doesn't have a large personality, but he has something. And we are familiar with him. We know who he is, when it comes to, because who are the Republicans going to have running for them besides Trump? Nobody. Who would they have? Who always runs with the Republicans? Marco Rubio? No. Jed Bush. Is Jed Bush still alive? That was the dude in Florida. He was the governor when George Bush brother, Jed Bush, or is it Jeb or Jed? Anyway, the Bush, he ain't running. Ted Cruz, hell no. Nah. What you gonna have? Lady G, aka Lindsey Graham, Lady G? No. Lindsey Graham is definitely nah. That ain't gonna work. Oh, it's getting hot, y'all. Hold on. Oh, I got my candle burning. I had to make sure it wasn't burning in the house. It was getting hot for a minute. But Lady G, you gonna have him run again? Like, ain't nobody voting for Lindsey Graham on a large scale. No, that's not going to happen. And so now you have this argument with Ron DeSantis versus Trump. This is kind of like the new thing that's going on, right? Let me see if I have a picture. Boom, finally I have a picture. So you have this battle going on, right? Now, Ron DeSantis, I don't think that he's going to translate over very well nationally. I think what he does in Florida works in Florida. However, I don't think he has national appeal across. No. Trump is going to eat this man alive. Even at the rally that Trump did, he was on like DeSantimonious, what he called him. He's basically just toying with him because Trump all like, this is a cakewalk. Let me tell you, if all the candidates or the supposed candidates that I listed, Trump will eat every single one of them alive. And even Ron DeSantis, just because he won his governorship easy peasy, that the Charlie Christie guy was already a governor of Florida before, and then he was a Republican, then he became a Democrat. He had a lot going on and people didn't really like him. But Ron DeSantis is not going to be able to he don't got the vernacular, he ain't got the swag, he ain't got nothing like that. Even though, some of us don't like Trump and stuff like that, you got to admit the man is entertaining and he knows how to talk and he knows how to use his words, the nicknames and everything like that. Ron DeSantis, if you remember when he was debating Andrew Gillum, he would get frustrated and flustered and shit like that. And I think it was Trump at the time backing up DeSantis. I think Trump is right with this when he said he backed DeSantis and basically helped him out. I ain't gonna lie about that. I think he did. And so Trump can always hold that against him, and he can hold it against the whole party and be like, yo, y'all would have had Hillary Clinton in here if it wasn't for me. They always are going to have to bow down to him. And people who weren't even into politics or weren't even Republicans, Trump awakened something in them. And like, it took me a while to even realize like, yo, like, I think that he made people excited about politics. Granted, all the bullshit that happened and stuff like that. But he made it really exciting to talk about politics. And let's be honest, the media, quote unquote, hated him in quotations, but they created Trump. He was on our TVs 24/7. Literally, everything was about Trump. They created this monster. If they didn't want to create this monster right here, they should have just left it in silence and didn't say anything. Because trust me, the media controls everything. They control who we gonna see, who's gonna be replayed, and all that stuff. They made Trump the man who he is today. They created it. It was sensationalized. Instead of condemning him and being like, "Yo, this is horrible," da, 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 they sensationalized it, and people got numb to it, and it was like, "Yo, the media is bullying him." Fake news. Once he started talking about fake news, this and that, and how the media was this and that, oh, he was in there like swimwear after that. DeSantis does not have he just ain't got it. He ain't got it. He is not going to, no. Even against, he would mop the floor with Sleepy Joe. No. Sleepy Joe would wake up from his nap, his 10-hour nap, because old people, they like to take naps and stuff like that. But they honestly, old people don't sleep like that. Old people, like, they take like a quick nap and then they be up like in seconds. And old people don't even need to use alarm clocks. They just wake up like that. Like, snap of the finger, they just wake up like that. It's crazy, right? Shout out to all my old heads. I love you. Even with Sleepy Joe, like, and that's another thing too. Do I think Joe Biden is going to run for president again? Of course. I don't believe any of that stuff that he's going to be primaried or he's going to lose. No, I think if anything, he's going to run, and then maybe in the few years he might be like, you know what, I am a little sleepy, and he going to get his ass up out of there. I think that, but yeah, I definitely think he's going to run in 2024 again. Like, those questions are stupid. People are just trying to hype up the media, and when they put stupid shit out there like that, that's when everything goes crazy. But Trump against Ron DeSantis, Trump wins. I'm just saying. I'm calling it. Not the presidency, but against Ron DeSantis, he's winning. And so everybody is talking about how much, I should say the Republicans are talking about how much they love Ron DeSantis. He's their guy and stuff like that. All of a sudden, they're in love with him and they're hyping him up. But like I said beforehand, they were all for Trump. They backed all his candidates, even if they were extreme or this or that. They backed him up, and Trump could do no wrong in their eyes. Y'all was let me put this out there too. Them Republicans in the Capitol, they were running like little bitches. You seen the video of them running? Y'all, they was running. They was running like little scared bitches running. But then they said, "Oh no, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that." No, we seen y'all running. Especially what's his name? Pence. Pence was running. They got him and his family out of there. Zoom. He was gone. The Secret Service came, swoop him up, got him out there safely. I'm telling you. I ain't even trying to be an asshole, but they was running, but then they want to say, "Oh, January 6th wasn't that bad. It was this and then why was you running?" I would have been there greeting the people, all like, "Hey, come on in," if I wasn't scared. If it wasn't being breached. Come on now. So then you have these political pundits moving on to Candace Owens, who, as you know, I'm not really a fan of. I just don't like the idea of Black people talking to a majority white audience about how Black people are criminals, they're lazy, they're this, talking negatively about Black people. I don't like that, and I'll never be able to rock with that. Does she say a few things I'll be like, "Oh, she might have a good point"? Yes, I can't deny that. But is she like this political expert that she claims to be? No, not at all. She's not an expert. That's a promise. She's not an expert. This is why she talks about the Kardashians, because it's easier to talk about that stuff. It is what it is. That's true. It's easier to talk about celebrity gossip and the Kardashians than it is politics when you don't even believe in what you're saying. All you're saying is negative talking points towards black people. Anyway, moving on. So she goes on her show on YouTube, right? And I watched it. Um, and she was basically talking about, oh yeah, there's a situation that happened with Trump, and it was over the vaccine thing, right? So she had that interview and she was like, yeah, vaccines. And she said something to the effect like something negative about vaccines. And Trump was like, oh, no, no, no. Vaccines, I got them out there. They were good, blah, blah, blah. Because that was one thing that he did do, was get the vaccines out there. Whether you wanted to take it or not, he got them out there. Like, that is something that he did. That is an accomplishment. And so if she's speaking negatively, let me use this hand, negatively about the accomplishment, that's not good for him. So he had to check her real quick. Like, no, 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 no. I got the vaccines out there. Now he did say, oh, it is your choice whether or not you want to take it, but I got the vaccines out there, because she was trying to discredit the whole thing and, do the propaganda thing and all that stuff. And he was like, no, 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 no. I got them out there. And so I guess there was some article where it said Candace said something about Trump is out of date or his age or something like that. And she was slightly offended by it because he was he was offended by it. And so she was angry, but she said that the article misspoke, or they didn't quote her right and stuff like that. And so she clarified it. But then she said she found out that he was upset. He went to he was at a golf course or some shit like that. And he talked to a mutual friend that they have. And she was upset by this. Mind you, this story that she's telling happened years ago. Well, I shouldn't say years ago. It happened a couple of years ago. At least like a year and a half. Let me be fair. A year and a half. That interview, if I remember correctly, happened like a year and a half ago, right? Now, all of a sudden, here's the strategy. Now, all of a sudden, I'm going to tell you about Trump and what he did to me. So then you guys can then in turn flip on him and we find us a new candidate. Now, she did say, like, oh, if he just takes responsibility and he just owns up to his stuff, he can be great again, blah, blah, blah. But she was planting the seed. Like, let me plant the seed real quick. We need to find somebody else in here and vote them in. Let's get rid of this guy. That's what she was thinking. Let's get rid of this guy right here. I'm going to plant the seed because I'm going to tell you about this old ass story. Mind you, she's had her own show, podcast, everything. And she could have told us about this shit a long time ago. But she waited. She waited until, now everybody doesn't want to, now everybody's walking away from Trump. She waited to tell that story. It was very strategic. She knows what she's doing. And this is what a lot of them are doing. They're playing those seeds like, oh, we need to turn on him. But they're not saying that we're going to turn on him, because what if he does win? Then we need to backtrack and still support him. Because at the end of the day, no matter the party, every party just wants power. They don't care about how shitty the candidate is. They just want power. This is why Herschel Walker is even in the conversation. Anyway, y'all, we are going to move on from that. And I do want to talk about Kanye and his dinner that he had with Trump. Let's talk about it, y'all. So these are the two people that are a part of his campaign, or I don't even know what you call it, because, like, did he run for president before, and did you guys vote for him? Anyway, so this is Milo. The one on top is Milo however you say his last name. I think it's Yiannopoulos, and then Nick Fuentes. Both two controversial people, both very ignorant people, both people that need to go suck a dick. Moving on from that. So you then in turn have Kanye West, who's in trouble, lost all his deals with Balenciaga. Well, thank God with Balenciaga, Adidas, and the anti-Semitic comments. And I want to talk about the not necessarily the anti-Semitic comments. I want to point out how detrimental he is to the black community. And I think a lot of us don't even look at it that way. We don't even look at it like, yo, this man is a nuisance to the black community. And he wants to rope us in and pull us in when it's beneficial to him. And y'all don't even realize this shit. And it frustrates me because y'all, granted, I think most and everybody know that Kanye be full of shit at times. Let's just put that out there. But if this man was serious about the people, he wouldn't have these two right here. He wouldn't have these two helping him out in his campaign if he really cared about the people. And I mean people, we can say people in general, but I'm talking about the black. You know, I got to say it like that. Black people. If he cared about black people, he would not have these two people with him. Let me tell you who these are. So the Milo guy, this is the one on top right here. Hold on, let me use this finger. The one on top right here. The one talked about Leslie Jones, comparing her to an animal. Very ignorant. He talked about black. This is what they all do. Talk about black people being criminals and violent and all this shit. But the thing about him that's most disturbing, if you did not like Balenciaga in that ad that they did with the children with the hornets and stuff like that, I said hornets. That's what I was trying to say. If you didn't like that, you should not like this fool right here, because he think it's okay to have underage, you know what, underage sex. This fool right here believes it's okay. The one on top. That's very disturbing. And if you talk about how Kim Kardashian, Kanye, I'm talking to you, Kanye. If you talk about how Kim Kardashian, took your black children to an all-white school and all this stuff, and you was disturbed and all this, you should be disturbed by that. So you full of shit. My ninja, you full of shit. Nick Fuentes, the one at the bottom. I'm using the wrong finger here. Mind you, the people listening to the audio, y'all can't really hear this. Y'all can't see what I'm doing, but you can hear it. Nick Fuentes. This guy, I was introduced to him because of the red pill people. He goes on kind of like, he's not a part of the manospheres, but more, I would say, red pill, right? And these are typically like the men who come off, misogynistic and like women need to do this and that and stuff like that. And so he's not really a part of the community, but he gets interviewed by a lot of those people, right? So Nick Fuentes, they said he's a white supremacist, but he denies being a white supremacist because he's a quote unquote Christian. But he does talk about this idea of having a homogeneous country. And he's saying because first he started out saying because of immigrants, but then he started saying because, there's so many different cultures and nationalities and stuff like that. This is why there's a lot of crime in the United States. Now, for anyone that does their research, know that when it comes to China or Japan, they're considered like a homogeneous country because they have a large population of only one race or a certain nationality. It doesn't correlate. Let me just spoiler: it doesn't correlate if you have a homogeneous country that it's less crime or anything like that. It's bullshit. He also said that black people are more inherently, because probably there's quote unquote culture. No, not culture. He said their genetics. They're more apt to do crime. Yeah, that's what he said. And this is the man supporting. And then he also talked about how genetically black people aren't smart. And he talked about the IQ, like black people inherently have or genetically have lower IQs because of who bullshit. Bullshit. Now, how smart you are or how intelligent you are have nothing to do with your race. And I think there's a larger conversation to be had, and I don't want to have it on here necessarily because we already at past the hour mark, and I was trying to keep it under an hour. But there's something to be had about this because it's proven if you take a white, black, Asian, next Hispanic person, and they're in the same um, economic status, right? They will inherently do about the same. You know, you can't take somebody from the hood and expect them to do the same as a person that has a higher economic status. That is what it is. And so somehow he's conflating that with we're talking about and again that's when it relates to SATs. And so somehow the conversation gets mixed up because he says IQ, and IQ has nothing to do with economic status or anything, nothing like that. And so people give this man a platform to spew out this bullshit, and that's the problem. And this is somebody who Kanye has with him. Also, and mind you, I was going to do a whole clip show too, but I think that this needs a part two to it. So we're probably going to continue on Milo and Nick and Kanye right here. We're probably going to continue on this on another episode. He also points, well, not points out, but he also was there during because I was all like, "Who's this Nick guy? Like, why is he such a big deal or whatever?" Right? He also was at the Charlottesville thing, you know, when they were saying Jews will not replace us. And he had said a whole bunch of horrible different things about Jews, even made jokes about being in the oven and stuff like that. Yes. Yes, he did say that. You can look it up. Um, but he was in Charlottesville too. He was also there January 6th. And uh, the point that I'm making, y'all, is that Kanye is full of shit if he is surrounding himself with these kind of people. So let me fast forward over to the dinner. So him and Trump have this dinner. Trump initially on his social platform, you know, his True Social or whatever you call his version of Twitter, he initially had a positive review about Kanye. Let me go ahead and put it up here, y'all. Oh, this is the wrong one. Hold on. That was the bad one. Let me put the good one up. He says, Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, was asking me for advice concerning some of his difficulties, in particular having to do with his business. We also discussed the lesser extent politics, where I told him he should definitely not run for president. Any voters you may have should vote for Trump. Anyway, we got along great. He expressed no anti-Semitism, and I appreciated all the nice things he said about me on Tucker Carlson. Why wouldn't I agree to meet? Also, I don't know Nick Fuentes. But then when he got backlash because of the whole anti-Semitism, white supremacy, all that stuff, he then tweeted out something else. And this is when he says the whole, so I help a seriously troubled man who just happens to be black. Now, a lot of people were offended by that, but I think the reason why he mentioned that happens to be black part was because they were saying Nick Fuentes was a white supremacist and stuff like that. So basically, he was trying to cover his ass right there. So he said, "Yay, Kanye West, who has been man, I stumbled over my own words. who has been decimated in his business and virtually everything else, and who has always been good to me by allowing his request for a meeting at Mar-a-Lago alone so that I can give him very much needed advice, in quotations. He shows up with three people, two of which I didn't know, the other political person who I haven't seen in years. I told him don't run for office, a total waste of time, can't win, fake news, went crazy. So right there, I kind of got that he was trying to in a way, Trump looked at this and was all like, "Oh, I'm trying to save Kanye." This is why he said, "A waste of time, can't win, fake news." A fake news went crazy. Because he's basically saying like, "Yo, y'all went crazy because I had a meeting, but I didn't know these people." He quote unquote said he didn't know these people. Now, Nick Fuentes, he did know. He did know him, but he's saying the other two people, he had no clue. But the thing is, and that I learned, when you go to the White House, they do security checks. But when you're a former president and you meet someone because you have the Secret Service with you, they still have to do security checks. So you can't have anyone there that you quote unquote don't know. Everyone is aware of who you bring in. So that was some BS. So he was trying to cover up there. Now, Kanye had an interview, and I was going to show it, but because this is going on YouTube as well, too, I didn't want to play it. But he was all like, I talked to Trump, and, he got angry, and he did like mob talk to me and stuff like that. So it's almost like Trump is planning, not Trump, Kanye is planting the seed like, yo, Trump ain't the same guy. And, he said he should have pardoned everybody on January 6th. No, the fuck he shouldn't have. No, the motherfuckers deserve to go to jail. Even that lady that ended up in Dublin out there. Damn, what's the prison in Dublin? Is that Santa Rita? Is that the one in Dublin, y'all, for everybody in the Bay Area? But the lady there that had breast cancer, bald headed and everything, she deserved to go to jail. I don't care if she bald headed and got breast cancer. You shouldn't have broke into the Capitol. That's showing you didn't have cancer when you broke into the goddamn Capitol. Now, did you? I'm just saying, right? Yo, I know I'm going to hell for that one. I know I'm going to hell. But she should have thought about her breast before she broke into that Capitol, right? I'm just saying, all those people deserve to go to jail. What was your ass doing there? Now, I can see you going to the little rally and stuff that they had, but once they started busting down the Capitol, I would have been like, it's time to go. if your spidey senses didn't go off that was a bad idea, that's on you. And so anyway, so Kanye was talking about how he definitely should have pardon those people, and he talked about Kim and disrespected his wife and all this other stuff, and it's all like, yo, Kanye, you were just a number. And at the time, everybody was calling Trump a racist. He needed an ally, he needed numbers, and that's what he used you for. Because Kanye, let's not forget, you said this man reminded you of your dad. Not reminding you of your dad, but as a father, you seen Trump as a father figure. Remember, you gave him all this praise. And now all of a sudden, oh yeah, I don't know, like Trump, I don't know what's wrong with him. And no, he know your ass is crazy. That's why he ain't fucking with you no more. He know your ass is crazy. But yeah, but all in all, that just lets me know. And it's always a thing with Kanye too, where when it comes to, remember when he said, oh, the Yeezys were going to be made in the United States and stuff like that, right? And he was gonna have a factory in Compton. Remember he said this? Some of y'all don't even remember he said this. And he wanted to bring, business back to America and all this stuff, screw going to other countries and all this stuff. When he was really heavy on his political shit during, during 2019, 20, when he first met Trump and stuff like that, right? This man never did that. Yeezys and all that, all that shit is made overseas. All that shit is made overseas. He did not create a factory in America and all that shit. That was some bullshit. And not even anything against interracial dating. And let me tell you, but the thing is, in the song, you even said when you get on, he leaves your ass for a white girl, and you choose to date the white girls. But then when they do something, talking about the Kardashians, when they do something wrong, you want to be like, power to the people, help me, help me, help me, help me. They're doing stuff to me because I'm a black man. But then you don't even respect your own people, and like, don't use us as a prop. It's one thing for a white person or another person to use us as a prop, but our own people using us as a prop. I'm gonna say this with my whole chest, Kanye, fuck you. All right, y'all. I think this was a great conversation. I like talking about politics and showing that I have a brain, other than the celebrity gossip and all that stuff. So I hope you guys like this episode. For those of you listening on the podcast, I appreciate y'all. Y'all are familiar with me, so you already know how I do it. So y'all ain't shocked or anything like that. But the people over on YouTube are probably a little shocked and all like, "Oh, I don't think I like this AT2." But shit, I lost my monetization, so at this point, I can just talk about anything and just let it flow out my mouth. So anyway, y'all, I love every single one of y'all, but we out of here. Deuces. I love y'all. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the podcast. Let me know how you think about it if you're listening on audio. We out of here, y'all. Deuces.